people that will blow your mind, that will come share things. So if you are very expectant, please, I want these seats in front to be filled. If you know you're expectant, if you don't expect anything from us, that's okay, you can sit at the back. But if you're expectant, you know that this meeting you have come for is going to be impactful. At least you can leave the first row seats, but from the second row seats, I don't want people to come in and then see, the front rows are empty. No, let's not leave spaces for latecomers. Let's occupy. Thank you so much. We're going to get started now, and I'm just going to, say a short prayer, if you don't mind, before we get started. Father, we thank you. Thank you for this meeting. Thank you because you have inspired it, and that everything that we discuss, everything that we learn today will take us to a new level of being not just men for ourselves, but for the society, the nation, and the kingdom. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. All right. We are getting started. So, as we well know, or in case you don't know, the person who has put together this entire, first of all, before I even get to that, let's welcome one another, shake hands. Men have a way of, if you want to do that back, if you want to do that, if you want to hug, if you want to, let's just greet one another. Let's get acclimatized. One thing I can assure you of is that this meeting is going to be a meeting of openness, of vulnerability, and gems. Somebody say gems. So you are going to pick up some serious precious stones that you never thought existed, just to make you a better man, and make all of us better men. Right? So, there is someone who has gotten the vision for this program, and I want to believe that at some point in our lives, every man standing here, you've thought about it, that how I wish I could see a community where it's just men, no woman, not men. How many people have been like that? Like you've just always wished that there's been this community of men only that you can have conversations with, you can share your struggles with, you can listen and learn from, and it's just, I believe it's a major thing, and somebody has received that vision and has decided to do something about it. A lot of us have received the vision and we have wished. But someone has received that vision and decided to do something about it. And that's the reason why we're all here this afternoon. So, without further ado, I'm going to call on the visionary of this project, Man Enough to Heal project, Jason, to come and give us, just share why METH. What's the point of it? What should you expect to take from this event? Why should you spend 3 hours of your time sitting down and everything? So, ladies and gentlemen, no lady, sorry. Gentlemen, apologies. Gentlemen, with a round of applause, please welcome Jason, convener of Man Enough to Heal. Please, you can make it louder.
Hi guys. Thank you so much everyone for coming out today. Let me read what I wrote. Okay. So aside from everything I wrote, I grew up feeling some sort of parental neglect, And it wasn't that my parents were not around. It was that they were around, but they were quite busy. So a lot of the things that I faced as a child were things that would have been, it shouldn't have happened if they were there for me to share some things with them. There was a phase in my life when I was quite young, abused, and I didn't know what it was, but it didn't feel normal to me. I tried to share with my father, and he just rubbed it off. Like, he didn't believe what I was saying. He said I didn't know what I was talking about. So I decided to keep things to myself. Whatever I faced as a child, I just kept moving. All of my formative years, everything that I've learned was from my own experiences. The things that I went through, the things that, some of them, very, very dark things. But then eventually I went through all of these things, and God showed me the light. I met some friends, I met some mentors that I could share with, and they could relate with my struggles. And all of this thing puts me on the path of healing. So standing here today, this vision was given to me by God in December 2024. And I said, okay, this is something I can relate with, because it looked like all of the struggles that I've been through, God kept bringing people that are going through the same stuff. So most of them, I just encourage them with my stories. They have been through this, I've seen this, I've seen that. So this is how you can do this and become better or get through this. And by the grace of God, a lot of them have also shared their testimonies with me. And I realized that the ultimate goal of God for every man is for you to raise godly kids, not broken kids. But when you grow up as a broken person and you don't know better, you project your insecurities when you're raising your child. It affects your parenting styles. It affects the kind of friends that you keep. It affects how you approach business and everything you do in your life. It affects your relationships, your love life. It affects your relationship with God. So sometimes God allows the man to be broken, but his goal is for you to go through the process and come out as fine gold. But the devil wants the man to see in a broken man and turns into a broken man himself, and the entire system is broken. So when God gave me this vision, I said, okay, I'm not even going to sleep. I didn't have a kobo to my name, but I said, God who sends funds. And from the moment that I decided that this was going to happen, several challenges came. I got the first venue. They used politics to give it to another person. A lot of things happened, but then I said, this date is the first thing I did was to fix the date. Before I talked to the graphic designer, I said, this is what I want. And we started publicity. And I'm so glad that each and every one of you are here today to start on this journey of healing with me. I want you to feel free, feel comfortable. This is a community of men who have gone through life, who probably have experienced similar things or very different things that have similar effects. We are here to share. We are here to ask questions, because all of the people that God has sent our way as panelists and facilitators, they are people that God has seasoned to answer your questions. The ones that you might understand and the ones that some of you might not really understand what is going on yet. But I pray that by the end of this event, you would know, okay, this is what I need for my life right now. Once again, thank you so much, and welcome to Man Enough to Heal 1.0. Thank you.
So that's not how to clap for a convener. No. Thank you very much, Jason. Your story, I'm sure, is going to be a path for many men to do many things for other men in the future. Thank you. God bless you. A round of applause for him again. All right. So we're going into the intricates bit by bit. But before we get into getting the next, the keynote speaker to come and speak to us, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Femi of Africa, for those who don't know me, and if you already know me. So just in case I commit a crime and you want to find me, just go anywhere and put Femi of Africa. There's only one. How else do I introduce myself? Okay, so 9 to 5, I work in tech. I'm a business analyst and product manager on some days. And on other days, I'm a researcher, I'm a writer, and a whole lot of other stuff. But most important thing for me today is that I'm a man's man. So you know the way they said women supporting women, right? So I'm here to support my men. All right? And like I said before when we started, if you are actually expectant about this event, these seats before you are not going to be empty. So please, if there are seats in front of you, and you are expectant, you know that you came for this program with intention to learn, to become better, please move forward. Let there be no empty seats in front of you, except you are like one OG. If you are an invited guest, there are seats in front for you. So please also move forward, just so we can identify everybody. But I don't really like it when I'm looking. Thank you. All right. So I'll tell you a quick story just before we get into the nitty-gritty of things. One of my first encounters that woke me up about men education is this. This was 2018. I was living in Lagos. I was going to visit a friend in Ikorodu. Now there was this phone, shiny Nokia. I can't even remember the model now that I just bought. It's like 2 months old, right? And I finished work that day. Towards the evening, I was going to Ikorodu to see a friend of mine, and I was just pressing my phone jejely. Slight traffic. If you've lived in Lagos, you know that that's to be expected. The car was going slowly. All of a sudden, I felt my phone was snatched from my hand while I was pressing it. So what happened? As we were going, there was a bike with a bike man and another man behind him seated, and they just rushed, zoomed past, picked up my phone from my hand, and they zoomed off. And to be honest with you, the first thing that came to my mind was not, hey, my phone. The first thing that came to my mind was, who raised this man? That was the first thing. Even me, I was shocked by myself because I don't even finish paying for that phone. I did not think about the money, I promise you. I didn't think about my phone. It took me a while for me to process that, oh, this phone is gone. Oh. And then the people in the car were not, oh, that's how you people will be pressing. Anyway, that's not the point of this. But the truth is that when you see menace in our society today, when you see dysfunction in our society, when you see dysfunction in the family, when you see dysfunction in politics, when you see dysfunction in every facet of the society, the first question that comes to my mind is, where are the men? Who are the men? Actually, because woven into the fabric of the society are men that take a stand. That's the truth. If you check history and just look at the patterns, things work because men stood. And when men sleep, things spoil. So this is an awakening. So I want you to just give your neighbor a nudge, just in case they are sleeping or they are dulling or they don't look like they are ready. Just nudge them and tell them this is a reawakening. It's time to wake up, brother. It's time to wake up. All right. So, I'm going to just pick one or two people who you tell us your names, you tell us what you do, very simply. And then you are going to tell us one thing as a man that you did not learn as a child, but now you know, and it has made you a better man. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to really think about it. I'm going to pick randomly, so I'll just walk up to anybody that I like. Yeah, so you are going to tell us your name. You are going to tell us what you do. You are going to now tell us one thing that you did not learn as a boy, but now you know as a man and has made you a better man. Are we ready? I want to know that you guys are ready, so it's not surprised. It's not surprising to anybody. Are we ready? Men now, Alpha. Are you ready? That's what's up. Okay, so 2 people. What's that Squid Game sound? Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I like this man's cap. Yes, because I like your cap. All right. So please share with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is not me, man. Now. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, that's more like it. My name is Imo Anselm. I would like to always say I'm proudly Akwa Ibom because we know plenty. Well done. So, who am I? I think who am I is not as important as who I'm becoming. Everything about me has brought me to this stage where I am becoming a healed man. But on the professional side, I'm an IT project manager and also a startup consultant. And basically, I help build businesses and also help consult for founders of businesses. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mad. Yeah, I thought about that. Thank you. Sex education. Yeah, sex education. Now, where all my wahala start with that. I really wish that my dad invested in my sex education because I got to actually learn that from people who did not know shit. Those are friends and teenagers and all of that. But yeah, sex education, which of course everything, emotional regulation, relationships all stem from that. So yeah, sex education is what I wish my dad or anyone around me had invested.
Thank you so much. Please clap for him. How many people can relate to that? You wished that you had learned sex education. No, I want to see hands. You wished. Good. My own sex education, it was my mother that gave me. Let me tell you what she said. I was in GS3, I will never forget. She called me, she called my elder brother and said, see, you people, you are growing older now. Let me tell you, you can impregnate a girl. So if you know that you want to, first of all, she advised that any girl you feel you don't like enough to marry, don't go near them. That's our first advice. The second part of the advice is that if you now go near them and they get pregnant, you will take responsibility. Oh. Don't come and tell me, oh, you don't like her. So you better know what you are doing. I want you guys to judge whether that's good advice or bad, but that's to the best of our knowledge, right? Uh, but that's like cold advice. She told me, if it's to sell pure water to take care of that child, you will sell. If it's to go and start bricklayer work, you will do. But make sure that you know what you are doing. And I can tell you that there are situations where those words rang so hard in my ears. I can never forget it.
Two.
Okay, thank you. Emotional management, leadership, and change strategy. He holds a PhD in strategic management and leadership, development from the UK, and certifications in neuroscience from Harvard University, and mental health from Curtin University, Australia. A graduate of geology with a postgraduate diploma in education and an MBA. He has over a decade of experience coaching individuals and organizations, pioneering programs like Mind Detox, therapy on the Armed Forces Radio 107.7, and leading the Great Minds for Change initiative, which promotes leadership and mental wellness in schools and institutions. An author of 6 transformative books and young adults with memberships and fellowships in various professional bodies. He has dedicated his career to fostering growth. Gentlemen, please forgive me once again. I need to detox my mind because, wow, I'm very used to saying ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, gentlemen, please make welcome Dr. Ndubisi Onyema as he gives the keynote speech. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello. There is an all-men stuff, right? Yes. Okay. So we'll stick to the plan then. In fact, when he was doing all of those introductions, I was wondering if I was still the person or there's another person he was doing it. All right. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. We're all here to detox our minds. The first question I'll throw out here is just look at the person close to you and ask the person, what is the state of your mind? Hey, come on. So, did you get an expression for that? Okay, so turn to the next person, ask the person, do you need a checkup from your neck up? Oh, some of you didn't get it initially. Do you need a checkup from your neck up? All right. I've got 15 minutes to do what I need to do. I hate to do like keynote speeches, like you're caging me. I just want to express myself, and I just want us to, communicate. So let's do the first 15 minutes by stirring up the conversation. Then when we break into discussion groups, we can, delve more into it. Now, we're looking at breaking, from the silence. And one of the things that resonates with me with the whole stuff is healing and why healing matters to us. Now, 3 things I want you to write down. Number 1 is healing is a process. It's not a rhythmic automaticity. It's not something that just happens spontaneously. It's a process. That's the first point I want to establish. The second point I want to establish is that healing is a choice. Life generally is a choice. The decisions we make are choices. But there are consequences for the choices we make. You can control the choices you make, but you can't control the consequences of the choices you make or that you've made. So healing, what was the first one? Is a process. The second one is a choice. The third one is that healing is possible. So I want you to echo it. It's possible. Hey, come on, we're too cold. We're too official. Let's de-officialize ourselves. We are having conversation, right? As guys, where we'll be now. As it is hot. So healing is a choice, healing is a process, and healing is possible. Now, having established these facts, I want you to know something. All that has happened to you in life is a past now. Why? Yesterday ended last night. So once you remember that yesterday ended last night, then all that you have been through, like Lisa Nicole will say, all that I've been through, moved through, prayed through, is setting me up for the best version of my life. And that's the reality. Everything that happens in life, like Michelle Obama would say, every adult is responsible for the way he looks. You can decide to trigger the cortisols, the bad feeling hormones in you, or the endorphins, the feel-good hormones. They're all coming from the same source, but it's your choice. I wouldn't go into neuroscience today because that would take like 2-3 hours. But I want you to establish something. This healing, it's a possibility. So it doesn't matter how long you've been hurt. It doesn't matter how, bad the situation is. It is a possibility for you to do a U-turn. And listen to this. I want to establish this fact. Now, it doesn't matter how long you've been on the wrong path. It doesn't get you to the right path. Why? The longevity of the wood in the water does not enhance its potency to become a crocodile. Ah, come on. Ah, yeah. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh, yeah. You like that one now? That's it. And for any rat or any cat that is aspiring to become a lion tomorrow, it must lose appetite for rats today. Oh, yeah. So, fact is, you can start from any point in your life to initiate the healing. But you know the major problem with the healing process? I call it ABC, but I like that A part. Admittance. Man up. You did die inside. You be Jew man. Make I cry. Make I be Jew man. But I've expressed that emotion. Now, one thing about that emotion is that it's stored. So no matter how you decide not to express it, it's in there, inside of you. Some are implosive, some are explosive. I don't want to go into personality traits where, people that are extroverts or introverts. No. And how they express all of this. But the reality here is, this is a reality that no matter how you do this stuff, these emotions are right there. They are right there inside of you. So all that you need to do is to find a way first to admit that you are going through this thing. And one of the challenges that make people not to, express themselves is that confidentiality aspect of it. Who is the right accountable partner? Before my name go enter social media, who will I tell in confidence? And this thing doesn't become, a story. That's one major problem. So, but you need to tell yourself the truth that I need to admit that I'm going through this. The 3 things we need to establish here. Number 1 is, whatever you're going through, you can grow through it. Write it down. Whatever you're going through, you can grow through. So it doesn't matter what you're going through, there's a possibility of growing through it. I'll tell you another one. I love this one. One of my mentors, Les Brown. How many of you know Les Brown? Of you listening? Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's my G. I love that man. He's old but young in his heart. So he wants to live full so he can die empty. And that's the whole essence of life. When you begin to make impact while you're here. Now, look at it. Some people make people happy where they go, some when they go. Oh, come on. It's not sinking now. Did you get that? Some people make people happy where they go, some when they go. Which category do you belong to? Are you adding value to people's life? When people see you, there's something resonating them. That's the concept. So Les Brown said, when life hits you hard, try to look up. Every setback in life is a setup for a comeback. So it doesn't matter how much setbacks you've had in life. It's just setting you up for the best seasons of your life. So all you need to do is to see those paths as paths. You cannot gain momentum into your future dragging your past with you. Oh, come on. You can't gain momentum into your future dragging your past with you. It's like a person in a train and is still carrying a load. It's a bankruptcy of mentality. Now listen to this. A lot of men have fallen into the cycle of toxic masculinity. I'm a man. I shouldn't cry. I'm a man. I shouldn't express myself. Emotion is something you can't control. It's right there inside of you. Let me do a little bit of neuroscience here. Now, there's a part in the limbic system, in the forebrain, a part of the brain. You have the forebrain, you have the hindbrain, the midbrain. Now, the limbic system has the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the cingulate gyrus, the fornix, and then you have the amygdala. Now that amygdala is responsible for emotions. So that's the control center of the brain. Now it's right there. You know, you have 4 loops. The frontal loop, the parietal loop, the temporal loop, and the occipital loop. So right there in the temporal loop, that's where the amygdala is. Now the problem is, you can't control the action because it's responsible for fight and flight response. So once it senses any negative thing around you, it triggers. So it's not something you can control. Within a split of seconds, it happens. So why are you suppressing it? By keeping those things. So express it. Find a way to express it. That was A, admittance. B is believing that it's possible for you to come out of it. Once you begin to see it as past, then it becomes past to you. And I'm just going to run down through 5R patterns in neuroscience. Then when we get into the discussion, we'll go deep. Are we good with that? Believing that you can go through this and come out of it. Very, very important. Jim Rohn once said, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain and not sliding down an old one. Wherever you are in life per time, whatever challenges you're facing, what you need to do is to focus on the future as against the past. Why am I stirring your minds? I'm stirring your minds for a healthy conversation this evening. Because what we're going through, it's some of our past, we're delving into our past, but look at this. Regret will look back. Worry looks around, but vision looks up. So I'm more focused on the vision, not what has happened before. I get on before, no be property. Not what has happened before, but what's happening to me now and what can happen to my future. On the radio program this morning, 107, I was telling them the power of visualization. You have to see it to seize it. If you can imagine it, it can emerge for you. So you have to visualize a better future. Some of us were in an unhealthy environment. And your environment is a reflection of your consciousness. So we've seen maybe daddy beat mommy or, scolded at her or did, some rough stuff that we know grew up. Those mental images have been formed. You can't erase them. Why? They are formed and stored in where we call hippocampus in the limbic system. That's also part of the memory control system. Except there's a damage there, you can't lose those memory. So what do you do? How do you clear it? 5R patterns. But before then, let me talk about the C, commitment to the work. So A, B, C. First is A, right? Admittance. Admit that this is a problem. B is what? Believing that you can come out of it. C is what? Committing to the work. There's a work. Behind everything working is someone working. Many of us are interested in the change, but we're not committed to the change. And see life as happening for you and not happening to you. That's all that you need to do. A change in perception. A change in the way you see things. So C, committing to the work that is needed. So 5R patterns in neuroscience, I learned that from one of my mentors, John Ashraf. How many of you know John Ashraf? Or you've listened to him? All right. Great minds you listen to, they'll do you real good. First R is recognition. Second R is response. The third R is reframe. The fourth R is release. And the fifth R is retrain. So I'm going to do this in 3 minutes and I'm out of your way for this session. So recognition, response, reframe, release, and what? Retrain. So how do you recognize it? In neuroscience, we have what we call ANTs, automatic negative thoughts. There are over 70,000 every day. What are they for this country? Every day, over 70,000. Flashing your mind, buzz books, giving you as they hot. They collect water. But the thing there is, you have the choice to recognize them and to make them negative thoughts. Once your mind is tuned to seeing them as negative thoughts, anytime your mind sees them, it triggers a part of your limbic system, the amygdala, to send the message to your hypothalamus, and that induces adrenal gland. The adrenal gland will release some adrenaline, we will release more sugar, then the glucose now will be converted to either trigger cortisols or the feel-good hormones. That's how this cycle works. So recognize them. So the second R is responding to them. So how do you respond to this negative? Unhear what you have heard. So what is the question here? or what is the what to do, know what you are hearing, because it's stored. You can't unhear what you have heard. You can't unsee what you have seen. I'll give you a funny one now. You dey waka, you see a fine babe. The first turning is what I call photographic response. Now, you've looked at it. It's not intentional, right? So it's a reflex action that you have taken. So it's a photographic, accidental action that you have taken. Now, the second one you do, now where Satan won't romance me, what be that? It's you now deciding that, wow, let me check. And that is when you start seeing the physiology and the anatomy. That is what happens. Then let me collect phone number. From phone number to, this is how this thing works. So it's something, it's a decision you make. So first is recognizing it. Second, responding to it. See it as something that is not good for you. You want to lose weight and you go where there's chocolate. You respect yourself to turn to the other direction. You understand it? So this is how this. So you now see that thing as a poison and not pleasure to you. Then the next part of it is, and reflect this to, healing. I want you to relate this to healing also. Then the next thing is what? Releasing it. Reframing before releasing. So reframing has to do with analysis and synthesis. Your mind is working. Even while you're sleeping, your mind is not sleeping. There's a 24-hour clock, psychedelic reading. I wouldn't go into that today. But that's how your mind works. So that is why the images you sleep with, even in your dream, you try to visualize them. There are unfinished business you started at night. Then when you wake up in the morning, as if solution has come, because your brain didn't rest completely. That's what happens. So that is reframing. Then the fourth one is releasing. Somebody calls you in the morning, 6 a.m., and somebody died in the village. How would that help you start your day? So when you see such kind of calls, I beg, you pick them maybe around 12 when you started the day. You've generated some energy, because it wouldn't change anything. The person has died, is in the village, he's cooling off, you are still here. This is how this thing works. Then the last R is what? Retrain. You reset back to default setting, retrain your mind, and you start all over again. So recognition, response, reframe, release, and retrain. Gentlemen, there's no lady here. But some are carrying very long hairs. But gentlemen, that was just by the side. Gentlemen, I want us to know something. Life is a choice. You can decide to start a new page in your life. It's not about what happened yesterday. It's not about what's happening, but what you are looking at. And it's a decision you can make. And it doesn't matter how hot you've been. You can still, pick it up from anywhere and restart your life. It's your life. Everything has been given to you. Every power to do what you need to do has been given to you by our Maker. Why? You are a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andy. Please no, that clap is not loud enough, please. Thank you so much. One of the things that is a key takeaway is that I think everybody, especially men, we are Lego of our decisions. So they are building blocks. Your choices every day is a building block. Thank you so much once again. Going to the next thing that we have. How many people believe that words are powerful? Let me see your hands. Just show your hands. Okay. We all believe that words are powerful. Right. Which is the reason why on a day like today, a lot of the things that we'll be communicating with will be words, right? And this experience will not be complete unless we have, Dr. Andy has given his own. There's still a lot more creative presentations and the likes. So right now, I want us to make welcome someone who will be giving us a spoken word piece, and I am particularly looking forward to it. So please, everybody, with a round of applause, make welcome Ike the Poet. as it gives us a spoken word piece.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Caleb, aka the Poet, and I'm a spoken word artist. I'm really happy to be here because it's METH conference, right? And men's mental health is not really talked about enough. And I mean, it's so much. As a Nigerian, life is already leading you 1-0. So if you're not a man, that's like 5-0. So, but like, it's not easy for so many men out there, but we need to have gatherings like this where, right? So this is a safe space, right? So I want to share a story. Sometime in 2022, something happened to me, and it was very bad. And my first response was, "You be man, you're not supposed to cry. Just chest it." But like, it was so overwhelming, I couldn't actually chest it, and I was crying. And I locked myself in my room so that nobody would come or nobody would hear me. And when I was crying, I used the pillow to cover my face so that nobody would hear my cry. And reflecting on that now, it just made me think of how many men go through so many things like this and they don't share. And today is the first time I'm sharing this, by the way. And like, it's so overwhelming. But like, this is a safe space, so my piece today is titled "Nobody Taught a Man to Cry," and I hope you guys enjoy this. Nobody taught a man to cry, but we were taught to fight war. Kill a lion, defend your family, even if you have to fight a war. Cater for everyone's needs except yours. Because family first, right? Now let's talk about family. You see, family builds a man more than he can build himself. A reflection of your father who thought he could do it himself, then neglecting your mother, your siblings, and you. But he provided for the family that he knew how to do. How I wish he knew. How I wish he knew what he was doing to my mind. I say good morning, Dad, but I need you is what I want to say inside. Because you scarred me. You tried to push me to be the best, but brought out the worst in me. You were hard on me. Now I'm hard on myself. I want to show my love, but I'd rather die than put my heart on the shelf for anyone to read. I try to be strong, but love is all I truly need. Do you think I was born this way? To hide my love? Do you think I was born this way? I want to say I love you, but I'm scared they'll call me gay. Now we have men becoming counterfeit of themselves, wanting to be loved so bad, so they change themselves. Turning to women, hoping they'll be seen. Because as a man, nobody ever sees you. But I see you. I see how much you care about the people you love, and how you would do anything to make sure they grow and evolve. I see how much heart you put into everything you do, and how much love you give to the people that really know you, even if you don't show it. I see how you would die to protect the women you love. I see how much grace you extend to the people around. And if no one ever gives you a helping hand, bro, I'm here to give you a helping hand. You see, men don't cry, but I think we should. I think we should show our emotions, our pain, our joy, our anger, our happiness, our sorrow, and our laughter. But the only time you get to see that sometimes is when we're having football banter. But my question to you today is, are you man enough to heal? Tell me, are you man enough to deal with the pain inside, the voices echo, but you choose not to hide, emptiness, but you choose to reside in a home that scarred you, fighting ugly battles, but I'm here to remind you, you've got this. You have to keep pulling through. continue to put your heart in all that you do. You see, a man is not defined by what he can destroy, but what he can build. So build. Build by teaching a boy not to hide his pain, his sorrow, his anger. Build by teaching a boy to be strong and courageous. Build by teaching a boy to fight for his right and what is right. Build by teaching a boy to respect and uphold the truth, even if he has to die. But most importantly, build by teaching a boy how to cry. Thank you.
I feel teary because those words are sharp. Thank you so much, Ike the Poet. And this is just, we're just getting into the program. Men, how are you? I figure out, okay, is everything in place? And you're still the last person to sleep at night. But who asks you, how are you? So this is my own spoken word piece. Men, how are you? And I don't mind if one person just wants to share how they are. Like, you want to actually share. Don't worry, this is a safe space. We're cool like that. Alright, so, Jesse wants to share.
Okay, how am I? I don't know whether to give like a platonic answer, which is I'm fine. That's what everybody says, right? But I'll say I'm overwhelmed. I'll say that I'm scared. I'll say that I'm uncertain about a lot of things. But I'm also going to say that every single time I take one step, I get to trust in myself that I've got this. But I'm not fine. There's too much happening at the same time. I don't know. But yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to be fine. Thank you.
Another spoken word poet. There are lots of poets in here. I'm sure if I start picking one after the other, we'll have a lot of poetry to produce. So let's have one more person share. How are you? Oh, so the response to everybody here is I'm fine. So you guys are really fine? Wow, look at that. Okay, so this bro says he's not fine. So let's see how he's doing.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. When I started this year, a lot of people would have started 2025 with so much excitement, started with so much enthusiasm and optimism. But I started this year drained. I started this year lacking mental energy. I found myself in a place where I knew I had so much to do, but I didn't just have the energy to do them. Every January, everyone comes into the year pumped up, wanting to do more, excited about the new year. And then I realized, I asked a lot of questions. You know, for some people, they would say that's depression, right? But because of my biblical beliefs, my faith in Christ, I wouldn't want to accept that was depression. But I was tired. I was exhausted. And I haven't quite gotten over the feeling of exhaustion. I'll be 32 in a month or so from now. And I'm looking at my life. I'm looking at where I thought I could have been at this time, and it doesn't quite look like where I should be. And it gives me a lot of concern. It bothers me really. Am I putting in the work? Yes. I have a lot of times that I don't get to have enough of sleep because I'm working. Putting in so much work, and I ask myself, at what point am I going to experience that breakthrough? It's not like I'm going to stop working, but at least you're looking at the work you're putting in and you're looking at the result that comes out of it, and you're excited, you're happy that you're making progress. So I'm really not fine. I want to get out of this point of exhaustion where my work really counts.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Please, if you see someone close to you, you feel free to ask them, can I give you a hug? And just, console them. The truth is that whether you want to prove strong or not, the things that you heard today, you can all relate to them. It seems very stretched when they say, oh, or it seems like case, but the truth is that we actually do. But you know what we don't do in those WhatsApp groups? We don't talk. So we have WhatsApp groups and we only discuss football and what else do you guys discuss? Achievements. I'm happy to announce that. But you don't talk about the things that are eating you up, the things that keep you awake at night. Those fears, those insecurities were ours. Like, Dr. Andy said, admittance. That's the first step to healing. So if you cannot admit that you are actually after the next section that we're going to, that will be
one. So I want this to be quick. We're gonna do 30 minutes of conversations. So I want us to just break out in like 5 different groups. I'm gonna read out the groups, and if anyone resonates with you, right, you can join that. Because here are, some of us are new time fathers. Some of us are thinking of the idea of, settling down. And I think we want to be intentional about how we raise our children, right? And so that's why we have this breakout, right? So we have gentle parenting, we have childhood trauma. Why did you learn it? It's deep, Abby. So yeah, we have childhood trauma, and we have conflict resolution, right? If you want to learn how to resolve conflict better, we have a breakout session for you. We also have understanding your emotions. Now I'll be handling this one, and that's why they call me Chente Emotions Doctor. But yeah, I'll be handling this. And we have self-care for men. Something that nobody said. Nobody said anything. Okay, so these are 5 breakout sessions. And I'll be calling, so for the understanding emotions, I'm going to be handling that. For self-care, you're going to be handling that, sir. Yeah. For gentle parenting, Osman will be handling that. For childhood trauma, please come to the front. My friend here will be handling that. And for conflict resolution, sir, you'll be handling that. Okay. So quickly, we want to quickly form 5 small circles. Is that okay? Can we do that? So please stand up, just on 5 small circles. Small chairs, just 5 small circles. We are going to be quick about the conversations. This is your, 5 small circles. So we can form 5 small circles first, and then each person will go. So yeah. We are going to have one here, one here. So one here, one will be here too. Okay, thank you. So we have 1, 2, not too big. Please bring this table. Shift this back. Yeah. 1, 2. Let's have one here. One here. One there, and this is 1, 2. Okay, 2. One here, one here. 3, 4, 5. Correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. Gentle parenting. Self-care for men. Self-care and setting boundaries. Please come here. Self-care, come here. Conflict resolution. Come here. Conflict resolution. Please come here. Conflict resolution, come here. Here would be understanding emotions. Please stay here. And then childhood trauma, stay here. Yeah, childhood trauma, stay here. So understanding emotions, please stay here. Anger management. This is also anger management class. So, yeah. Anger management class, understanding emotions, please sit here. Conflict resolution. Una know they fight too. Why is nobody here? Oh my God. I see intentional men here. I see them here. And then lastly, this is good. Have a session. For our online community, please come. Come, sir. Are we ready? Are people okay. Please let's get seated so we start. Let's get seated. So the idea, before we start, the idea of the breakout session is to have intimate conversations. We are here to talk, right? We want to talk. So we're going to ask him questions and just be navigating conversations. It's nothing really serious. But at the end of these breakout sessions, we are going to pick at least one person from each breakout to tell us what they've learned in that session. Is that okay? Can we do that? Okay, let's start. We have 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, we're done. Thank you so much. I'm sure it's a refreshing conversation that you guys can't even leave. Okay? 20 minutes is too much. These self-care people, they don't want to finish. Oh. Is the trauma that deep? Oh my God. Wow. Okay, please select your representative, and me, I'll soon marry and come and join this conversation. It's deep. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. See these trauma people. Hey, childhood trauma have dealt with. Oh my God. You are going through a lot. A lot is going through you. Oh yeah. We are done. We're done. Okay. Thank you so much, facilitators. Thank you so much. I'm sure the conversation was so good that most of you did not want to end that. Like, it was so intense. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so 5 people. 5 people, sorry, 1 person each from the different. So, did you select anybody? Yes, you're meant to select someone. Or from conflict and resolution. Oh yeah, select. Since they don't want to come out. You want to, okay. Come out, okay. A round of applause. From managing emotions. Please, a round of applause for our people. A round of applause. From self-care. You're from conflict. Self-care. You guys don't want to leave now. Okay, a round of applause from self-care. See, childhood trauma, I'll drag somebody. Oh yeah, stand up. Okay, a round of applause. From gentle parenting. See, oh my God, a round of applause. So, we'll have you share one thing that you actually learned. What was your takeaway from your breakout session? I know it was intense. What did you learn?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Takeaway. We had a lot of things to talk about. We didn't have enough time, to be honest. So, if you notice, our group was the smallest. People don't like resolving conflict. Yeah, so we guys think that we know how to resolve conflict, but the truth is we know how to hide it. So we know how to avoid it. So, and that was one of the things that came up steady. So everybody, we had to talk about the way we resolve conflict. And most of us were avoidant. So we just look at the conflict and we avoid. And the thing with that is that it keeps piling up. It doesn't go away. It keeps piling up. So it gets to a point where it just bursts out, and then you now wonder why is this person reacting like this over this small thing. So yeah, when it comes to us guys, it's one of the areas that we need to work on. So either just being able to speak our minds, confront certain issues. Of course, there's wisdom. There are some cases where you don't confront, and some cases where you let it not be the default that you see something and it hurts you and you don't talk about it. Yeah. So we also talked about winning an argument, who is right and who is wrong. In an argument there is no winning. Nobody really wins. And in some cases, like, one of the examples was in cases of marriage. You don't actually win. It sometimes is better for you to lose the argument than to win. Because the person you lost against, now they are bitter. Now they have, so stuff like that. So we didn't have time to get through everything. I wish we did. I wish we did, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can go back. So if there's one thing, right, I made it compulsory that Sir handles, because he's too gentle. You see him, he's like, if I say they fight, I say this man will have so much wisdom on resolving conflict. Thank you very much, sir, for that. And then if there's a takeaway from what he said, right, I've also learned to understand that, especially when it comes to married couples, right, and resolving conflict, it's not you versus the problem versus her. I think one of the things I learned is both of you against whatever is coming in conflict. So a round of applause for him. Thank you very much. Okay, managing emotions, right? Okay.
Good afternoon, guys. So in summary, our group, we talked about emotions. We got to understand that there's no good or bad emotion. It's the response to the emotion that is actually good or bad, given the situation. So going forward in life, as you get older, these emotions, there's a reaction you always give out whenever these emotions come about. Let's say like now you go to filling station, someone that has more money drives into your front and buys fuel before you. Whether you like it or not, it has gone to your brain. Thank God doctor was in our group. So he has told us, you understand that when something like that happens, it triggers you and you feel like having money is something you want to get to at a point in your life. So when you are somewhere or when you feel like you are not making progress, for me, I'm anxious. So when I'm anxious, my emotions get the best of me and I make irrational decisions. So when you are anxious and you continually make decisions that are not rational, so they advise us that you have to step back. Stepping back is not going to be easy, but you have to know that your anxiousness is as a result of your experiences that has made you feel like, oh, I have to have money to avoid this and this and this and this in my future or in my life. So that anxiousness, you want to fight it. You have to pull back and find a solution to those beliefs. You have to deal with those beliefs to be able to deal with that anxiousness. So my irrational decisions stem from a place of anxiousness, and those anxiousness come from a place of beliefs and your environment and everything, your experiences that have brought you to that point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. A round of applause. You can go back. Thank you very much. Okay, this is self-care.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bright Emeka. Mr. Tim was the moderator for our class where we talked about self-care. And it is a really, really important thing, especially as men. It's easy to put the whole responsibility of every single person above yours. So it was a good thing that we were asked so many questions that helped us think and also put value on our health and our well-being. We see scriptures too where God says that we should love our neighbors ourselves, and we see many examples too in airplane situation when there is going to be a crash. You're told that you should put the mask on yourself first before you help someone else. So it's a good thing that we all learn to draw a good, healthy balance, know when to say no, know when that, okay. He also mentioned something important, that it's important to investigate the intentions and motivations behind some of the asking and requests you get. Where is this coming from? What kind of place is this coming from? And also for yourself too, am I trying to give to feel better, or I'm just trying to become God in the lives of other people? So it's important to judge our motives and the intentions of other persons, and having accountability. He said that would help accountability systems for yourself. It would help us prioritize, and also he asked us what we are doing to, after a busy day, how do we wind down and relieve stress. It was something to think about. Yeah, thank you so much.
And coming to that, right, I think as men, I think we've spent time seeing every other person that we've not seen ourselves. You have spent time being responsible. Oh my God, there's somebody I have to do. Oh my God. If I ask you, when was the last time you did something good for yourself? How many people raised up their hand and said, so and so time? Even December self, you did not even, you were sending money to other people. You did not even say, let me even go to, because you have to be whole before you can give out. A round of applause once again. Okay. Parenting.
Yeah, guys, before now, if I was still single, if you, in this kind of program, if you tell me to, things with range. But, thank you, Pastor Mayowa. The first instant he mentioned was Abraham in the Bible, that God told him that he's going to make him father of many nations. You guys remember, right? But physically, this guy has a fatherhood. Where Lot was captured, he took servants, he took soldiers. It means that he's already a father figure. Guys, so for you to be a father, fathers are prototype. You get what I'm saying? That's what I think. He said fatherhood, becoming a father is becoming a prototype. So for our society, you say the family is the smallest unit of a society. So for if society to change, to become better, we have to depend on the family. And for a family to be better, we have to depend on fathers. So when you are looking at yourself and myself, we have a major role to play in this nation, in the society, in the culture. So maybe you are not married, you are still single, or you are not dating at all. Start seeing yourself as a prototype. You get what I'm saying? You see yourself as a prototype. He said, the role of the father, you give good gifts to your children. And of course, obviously, love. For some of us that never had our dad say, I love you, I wish one day I will get that from my dad, and I don't know the faith I'll use and take it. Okay. So, but I mean, it's what we should do intentionally. A lot of our behavior, a lot of our attitude already, if you are not watching yourself, is what we have learned unknowingly from your own father. You get, I have, for me to stand here, my dad would never do it. And I'm breaking those, yes, I don't care. Get what I'm saying? So just know that as you're going in life, you are a prototype that your children are looking at. They will behave the same way their dad behaved in their marriage, most likely. Thank you very much.
A round of applause, please. You know, but at a point, it sounded like warning. Is it by force? But thank you very much, sir. But because I think, right, most of us that are going into parenting is intentionality, because, oh my God, there are some things that if you do not pay attention to, you just end up repeating the cycle. You think that, oh, I will be a, sprinkle father, until you land your children slap. I think it's about being intentional. Thank you very much. A round of applause. A round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
Okay. My name is David. We had a very lovely time at Childhood Trauma. We had time to unburden. One major fact is that as men, we've been told several times, we do not share, we don't express, we just bottle things up. Honestly, I used to feel I was the one that had the most terrible childhood story, but when I listened to what people said, I gave thanks to God for mine. First, just creating that safe space was everything for us. Being able to express without having to be misjudged or be misinterpreted. And for us, we had to pour our heart out, talk, express. And from what we learned, honestly, like the speaker last said, admittance, if you don't admit that you have a problem, honestly, you would not really move forward. So admittance to the fact that, okay, you had this particular experience growing up as a child, you had this issue, believing in yourself that you can overcome it, and making commitments by putting in the work. Honestly, to be honest, I noticed that most guys, when I looked at all the traumatic stories, we all had daddy issues. And like from what the parenting said, if you do not learn from those mistakes, you yourself will repeat those mistakes. Thank you so much.
A round of applause. A round of applause. See, for childhood trauma, I have so much to say that I don't even know how to say it because I'm traumatized. As a Nigerian, you grew up, you are born into trauma. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. There's a lot of work to be done because I think that if we want to indeed impact the next generation, we must be intentional about our own healing. So I am really grateful for everyone to show up here and just have this conversation. Thank you so much for coming. A round of applause for you, for yourself. Okay, you want to say something? Sorry. Okay, quickly.
Whatever it is you don't forgive your parents or your dad, most especially, that's who you're going to become. Why I'm saying that is because the way I learned how to be, or I started learning how to be a good person or a good guy, or even trying to be a good father, or if I'm married or once I get married, how to become a good husband and a father is like I had to tell myself to forgive whatever it is my dad has done, because I understand men can be deliberate on the things and the actions they want to do. So when you see some people do the things they do and he has affected you badly, mostly your father, first forgive him, because if you do not forgive him, you will become him. So that I had to do that and start learning from the mistakes he has made, because there's no how you're going to learn it if you don't like say I'm deliberate enough to like, okay, I have to get this thing, I have to like can't start watching videos on YouTube because there's nobody to tell me how to be a man. In fact, I learned it from Miles Monroe, how to even be a man, like what should I do as a man, because it's very disturbing when you have to like wake up every day and like, what do I have to do now? Make the decision. Making personal decisions for yourself to move forward is one of the biggest decisions you have to make about your own life. Trying to push yourself forward as a man is another stress on its own that nobody is to talk about. You have to go and sit down and like, God help me, how can I move from here? Because the decisions are so much to make. We are left with a lot of responsibilities to carry. They will tell you, be strong, be strong. Nobody's telling you, how are you being strong? How are you even healing? What's happening to you? Like, how are you going through all these things? But they just presume, oh, they are men. They can. So I felt I should just say it. You have to heal or forgive your father. If not, you will become what he is. Thank you.
Oh my God. I think that hits deeply because I think that most of the scars that we sometimes have were passed down, right? And I think forgiveness actually plays a big role, but most importantly is to forgive yourself. Because I think that sometimes we have internalized all of those things and we feel like there's no way because it has passed down, I'm gonna hold it. But I think most importantly, you forgive your dad, but you also even forgive yourself. Because I think most of us judge ourselves for those things happening to us. We say, if I was just a good person, maybe he wouldn't have treated me like that. Maybe if I had learned, if I had read my book more, if I had, oh my God.
Order up!
But thank you very much, every single person, for being here. Just you being here, it shows intentionality. It shows that you're ready to take that step. Thank you so much. A round of applause. A round of applause. Okay, I'll hand the mic, and we are done with the breakout session. Thank you very much.
Wow. Just one question. How many people have thought about, how many people have crossed in your mind from these sessions? I just want to see your hands. Like you've crossed places that you are not familiar with, you've not thought about. They've struck these kinds of conversations. They strike boundaries. They get you to journey to certain places that you naturally would not want to go to. If they bring it up, you say, no, stop there. This is where you cross the line. But I'm grateful that we're having these conversations. And I want to assure you that this is not the end, right? So going forward from now, we will literally have those groups that I spoke about before, those WhatsApp groups. And this time, we will not just be bantering football. We will actually be talking. We'll be asking questions. We'll be having people that can respond to those questions. We'll be sharing challenges and how we can break out of those challenges. Are we on the same page? Awesome. So the conversation does not end here. So just in case, some people, when you say register for events, they just feel like, why should I give them my email address and my phone number? Because now somebody will be calling me and disturbing my life, or somebody will be sending me spam mails. So there is no way you can hear from us if you have not put down your phone number and your email address. So kindly walk up to the secretariat at the entrance if you have not, and put down your name. And if you registered before, be sure that you'd hear from us. So up next is, like I said, we're going to be communicating a lot in words, and we've been doing that, right? This time, we've done spoken words, we've done keynotes, we've done breakout sessions, but then let's also have conversations that are sonorous, conversations that have melody, conversations that, there's a way music gets into your brain and tinkles and just turns certain knobs in your head and helps you, sometimes you focus, sometimes you lose it. It just sparks different kinds of emotions in you, right? That shows I went to emotions class. So we're having the next performance is a special song performance, and it's by the one and the only Excel Praisworth. So everybody, with a round of applause, please welcome Excel Praisworth for his special song.
I must say it's a privilege to be here this evening, and I would like to fight through our struggles silently. But we know that true strength is when you can admit your difficulties and when you can share them and grow from them and come out of them. I'm Excel, and I've lived with the sickle cell disease for over 30 years. For over 30 years now, a little over 30 years. I'm a sickle cell warrior, and then it has not been an easy journey. I mean, a lot of struggles, some days of pain, some days of isolation. But I've also learned that when you can rely on your support system, like things like this, you can share your story, you can share your journey, and you can use creative outlets such as music. It's a good way of healing. It's a good starting point. So I'm just here to do one song for you. It's titled Sickle Song. It's a song about my journey as a sickle cell warrior, a song about my life, and not just for me, but for everybody here who feels like they need to be sound. If they're feeling overwhelmed, you can draw strength from this song, and then you just sit back, relax, enjoy the melody, and let's have fun together. Thank you very much. yourself to the cold and they say you should never come close to stressing. Have you been faithful to your medicine? They say we will try to control the fever. Oh, I think you're the high you dreaded. We check your breathing, you need some oxygen. But I just want the pain to go away. Not the first time, and maybe it'll be the last. You're not sick, cool, don't let the doctors tell you that you're beautiful. You were stronger than you ever realized. And I see. Well, it was a soldier that I can't remember. 'Cause I was young and tender, but from the very start, it was never like this. Then I realized that I can't keep dancing. It's hard to sit while your friends are running, and the phantom was never but far away. The 9 to 5 that you can't skip doing is how you try to earn a living, and even when you get everything right, you're still wide awake in the middle of the night. Not the first time, and it may be the last. You're not sick, cool, don't let the doctors tell you that you're beautiful. You were stronger than you ever realized. And I see than you'd ever realize. Just a little bit more, a little bit more. I hear you crying. Just a little bit more, a little bit more. The sun will shine. Just a little bit more, a little bit more. I'll hold your hand. Just a little bit more, a little bit more. I have a plan. Just a little bit more, a little bit more. I hear you crying. Just a little bit more, a little bit more. The sun will shine. Just a little bit more, a little bit more. I'll hold your hand, yeah. Just a little bit more, the sun will shine. Not the first time, and it may not be the last. You're not sick, cool, don't let the doctors tell you that you're beautiful. You were stronger than you'd ever realize. You were stronger than you'd ever realize. Yeah, you were stronger than you'd ever realize. You were stronger than you'd ever realize. Thank you very much, everybody.
Wow. Thank you so much, Excel Praiseworth. A round of applause for him again. You know, as he was just singing, one thing that was just on my mind is that life is sickle. And so, you might not be living with the sickle cell disease, but I want you to know that you might be, I mean, everybody would agree with me that there's something you are going through. Maybe you've even tried to shake it off. You've tried to, do different things. You've even spoken up to somebody, and it seems like that issue would not go. But remember the sickle song, and you can always listen to it. His songs are on Spotify, Apple Music, and every other streaming platforms. Excel Praiseworth. You can always go and listen to his songs. Thank you once again. God bless you. All right. On to the next. So, there is a short film that we'll be screening right now. And the title of the short film is Am I Okay? Am I okay? I am fine. Okay, it's I am fine, not am I okay. So I'm asking myself the question and I'm answering myself. I am fine. All right? Don't forget, I asked earlier, are you fine? How are you? And a few people said they are not fine. And I'm hoping that this short film can help us to reassess our answers, and hopefully at the end of the day, we can truly say, I'm fine. So, for the next few minutes, let's enjoy this short film screening.
Order up! Order up!
This is fine. This is fine. Where's Chibuzo in all of this? I don't understand where he is at this point, and I am going to take serious action. I am going to take serious action. Chibuzo!
Good morning, sir.
Is something wrong with you? This is the third time you're coming late this week.
I'm sorry, sir. The traffic was terrible. I ran here as fast as I could.
Chibuzo, no excuses. Chibuzo, this is the third time this week alone. And you know we cannot afford delays like this on busy days.
Please.
Chibuzo, get yourself together and get the hell out of my sight.
Thank you, sir. I'll get it right. I'll get it.
Okay? You look like you've been through a wardrobe.
I'm fine. I just need to take in these orders.
Really? Chibuzo, I really think you need to get yourself together, because if you don't need this job, some other people do.
And what do you mean by that? I'm doing the best I can here. I don't need you to remind me how to do my job, okay?
Stop asking me stupid questions and go give the orders. The kitchen is busy. We have work to do.
Stupid. You think I'm saying stupid things? You have no idea. Favor, you have no idea. I'm here doing all the work, but all you see is the wrong things.
You know, if you were so tired, maybe you should have just stayed at home instead of dragging us back with your mistakes. Now go give the orders in the kitchen.
It's okay. Favor, I don't need your wahala this morning.
I have covered for your rubbish this morning. So you can be happy that I'm even having this conversation with you. What's wrong with you?
I'm begging you, stop. This is not the time.
I'm begging you, stop. Show up to work on time and stop giving me stress.
Leave them.
Coming late with dirty shirts.
How bad? Why don't you?
Let's switch shirts.
What is going on here? Nothing, but the both of you literally want to set this place on fire. Chibuzo,
sir.
See, I've had enough of your drama and your shenanigans today. Carry your stuff and go home. Would you? I said I've had enough. I've had enough for today. Just go home and we'll deal with this some other time. And you get... Chibuzo, I said go home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, my G, how far now? My own base, you based on that base, so you bring my side. Well, guy, I beg, I don't really like this. My side no pure at all. Find if you do it, because I don't enter problem, okay? I don't enter serious wahala, guy.
Ma, honestly, if I tell you, say I get time to learn about this nonsense you talk now, I go lie. I beg, my head full right now. I take concern me, say you no use your head to run that bet.
Guy, you know say I deal back normally, but this one don't clear, guy. How far now? What's up?
Ima, you chose to bet. You chose to play that game like a fool. You and I both know you made the decision to play the game. So stop looking for someone to blame. If you want to talk about me, fine, I'll be happy to.
So that's how
but
it
now
is,
my
yeah?
plate is full.
That's how
okay?
you play this.
What the hell am I doing? Oh God.
I don't define yourself. Chibuzo, you good?
I'm fine. I'm just tired. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Chibuzo, come on. Don't give me that. You've been running on empty for weeks. You need to talk about this, bro. We cannot.
I'm fine.
What the hell is wrong with you, Chibuzo? Look at you. Look at this. This mess. I don't get it. I keep trying to keep it all together, but I'm falling apart. Every damn day. And now, I'm pushing people away. People who care. See. But now, I'm losing my grip on everything. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. I can do this on my own. I have to do this on my own. But look at you. Look at how much you screwed up. You're tired. You're angry. And you're pushing everyone away. Is that really the way to handle things? Chubuzo, is this what you want? Maybe I can't keep doing this alone. Maybe I don't have to. I've got to try. I've got to try.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Akin, just leave me alone. I'm fine. Akin, leave me alone. I'm fine.
You need to talk about this, bro.
Just leave, please.
Please stand up. Let's see you. So please, that's him right there. VKO. Well done. Well done. That's an amazing body of work. Thank you so much. Once again, how are you, men? If you are Chibuzo, you're actually not fine.
And
So we're going to have a panel session now where we'll have some of our esteemed guests, sit down and we can ask questions and they can respond to us. I want you guys, I believe that a link has been sent earlier for people who want to ask their questions. Okay, so, but for the sake of, you can go to bit.ly/askmeth. So bit.ly, all small letters, /ASK, small letters, METH, capital letters. So I'll go again, bit.ly/ASK, small letters, that's lowercase, and then METH, uppercase, that's capital letters. So you can always drop your questions there and our panelists will be sure to respond. So I would like to invite our panelists and just read out who they are, just so you are well aware. Okay, so I'm just going to invite Tim, who is the moderator for this panel session, he would introduce.
Okay, thank you so much. I think Jason and the rest of the team deserve a resounding round of applause so far. And also, I think you deserve a round of applause for making it this far. All right, so let's just get right into it. So we'll continue this conversation so far talking about mental health for men on this one today. I would like to invite Pastor Mayo Wasani. He is a dynamic professional with a wealth of experience across multiple industries, combining corporate expertise, entrepreneurial spirit, and a deep commitment to confront harmful narratives that have for so long held men back. So that's what we're going to do going forward. So Pastor Mayo Wasani, he's got a bachelor's degree in accounting. He began his career in the aviation sector with Emirates Airways, gaining invaluable insight into global operations. He later transitioned into the advertising industry, where his creativity and strategic thinking contributed to impactful campaigns. So I'm going to stop that there, but then the profile goes on and on. Please, let's welcome Pastor Mayo Wasani. Good to have you here, sir. Okay. Oh, the next is actually me. Meet me. Okay, so I'll go to Dr. Ndubisi Onyema, and change strategy. He holds a PhD in strategic management and leadership development from the UK and certification portfolio. And to my very good friend and brother, Paul Cast. He's the creative director of Podcast Studios, a media production company with a focus on helping people live better lives through excellently illustrated stories. He graduated from Covenant University with a desire to wield his knowledge of psychology in the creative space. He is the author of the bestseller, How to Be a Man in a Crazy World. Yep, that's podcast. He deserves a round of applause. And the last, who is definitely not the least. As a certified trauma, grief, couples, and mental health therapist with over 5 years of experience, Shente has supported more than 1,000 individuals through one-on-one therapy and group engagements. With expertise in cognitive behavioral therapy and brief psychodynamic therapy, sessions are rooted in compassion, creating a safe, supportive space where individuals feel truly seen, heard, and valued. You're welcome, Chetty. Okay. So these are our distinguished panelists. Now, both men and women experience mental health challenges, but men, according to research, may be or are actually disproportionately affected in ways that are often overlooked. And there are several factors that contribute to this, including, but not limited to cultural expectations and what we call, toxic masculinity. There's masculinity norms. And then there is the unreported incidents of mental health, when it comes to men. And then there's also the stigma. And then there's also something that is not very often spoken of, and that's the economic and social pressures and the impact these have on men. So today, I'm so excited to, delve into these topics with, these very heavyweights here with me. So this is what we'll do. I'll run through a number of questions with you, and then we'll give the people the chance to ask their own questions. And if we get questions from the link, also, I think Jason and the team would do well to let me know so that I'll have those questions. But we would start with our questions here that I have here. We're all having a nice time so far, right? Correct. Okay. Now, I'd like to start with Pastor Maya Wasani. Let's do a bit of tracing back to the roots. Have men always struggled with emotional suppression, or is this something that is more like a modern day crisis? What would you say?
Well, I think it's not new. I think men have always struggled with it. And I think it's both nature and exposure. In the sense that the two genders are wired differently. And the wiring of the man. Take an organization, for example. You have a leader, you have those following you. It might not be easy for the leader to open up to those following. So when you find yourself in a leadership position, a support system, because you can't be that expressive with those you are leading. So there's a balance to this, by the way, but the point is both nature, is both exposures. Then you come into a world where the heart of man is desperately wicked, and man, I'm referring to human beings. You come to a world where there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of attempts to be expressive, but the feedback is, and for men, when the feedback to expression is not met with wisdom and sensitivity, it's like a snail when you hit, is it the cover of a snail? The snail just retreats inside and it's not coming out again. Something like that. So I think it's a combination of both. But there is wisdom from God on how to sort this out. That's my opinion.
Thank you so much for that. Please, a round of applause for him. Okay. Now, let's talk about cultural challenges. Now, is men's mental health stigma more pronounced in Africa and the global south, or is it a universal problem?
I would say that initially, right, it was everywhere. I think it's just how progressive this is, right? I wouldn't say that it's only in Africa, because even till now, men still struggle every single place, right? Society have not really accepted men in that way in every space. I mean, I think it's in UK. A friend was telling me something about that how they say it is women, children, dogs before men. You can imagine. Like, that is the hierarchy of, you have women, you have children, you have dogs. Dogs before you have men, right? So I wouldn't say it's Africa, right? But I think that everybody is beginning to know that a man needs to breathe. Do you get? I think we've been stereotyped for a long time that it's not even giving us space to actually express ourselves. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say it's Africa, right? But I would say that most of those countries have progressed. We are getting to that point. It's slower, but I think it's gonna happen. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. A man needs to breathe. Can you all breathe? Thank you. Okay, my next question to BC.
All right, thank you for that question. Now, the thing is, basically, there's this disease I call egotism, which is also a culture, sees himself as whole and sees every other person as sick. There's a word I carved out today, and I call it myselfism. It's chronic myselfism. That's what a lot of men are suffering from. Now, this makes it more difficult for people to express themselves. And that is why it's easier for the ladies, to express themselves, and, you have more records of, women going through things than the men. Men, they cry. That is the reality that we have to face. But the thing, like also my brother said, it's more prevalent here in Africa because you have this cultural angle to it. But we need to break out from this science. Now, where is it written that men shouldn't express themselves? If you're vulnerable, the first thing you need to understand is one of the key factors that makes us who we are as humans is our ability to feel things. That's one. Two, our abilities to control our emotions. So if you are not feeling anything, they need to check you. So it's normal until we begin to understand the fact that feeling things and expressing emotions is not abnormal. Like it's something that is normal. And it doesn't reduce your masculinity. It doesn't reduce who you are. You see someone crying, let the tears flow. That is the way he wants to express himself. And it doesn't reduce him as a man. It doesn't reduce him as a person. So until we begin to see these cultural norms as, well, my perception is my reality. That's how I see things. You change the way you see things, the things you see will change. So if I don't see it as a cultural norm, well, who cares? See it the way you want to. I have 3 quintessential girls, 9, 7, 5. And, you know, there's this, I'm an Igbo guy. You know, you need to have a boy, you need to, come on, for where now, waiting, who write up, you know? Who adopted that motion, you know? So the 3 girls, all that I'm living for, I'm giving them. And I see them as my boys. And that's what it is, and that's the reality. So till we man up to begin to see these expressions are as not weaknesses, but as strength. It's even better you express them because they are strength to you. But if you don't see them as...
Next, let's talk about safe spaces and vulnerability. What practical steps can men take to express their emotions without fear of judgment?
Thank you so much for that. Let me first of all recognize the fact that I'm amongst very powerful men. So I'm just, see, I'm in the middle. I'm being squashed. So anyway. So I'll just share a simple story. Back in school, I didn't really have a very interesting childhood growing up. My father was an interesting man, if you know what I mean. And so I never had any model for a male figure growing up. And a lot of times, the things you think would not affect you end up affecting you when you get older, if they're not dealt with consciously. And so I knew I had that desire for always wanting to make a point, make it, attention, all of that. And also even my attitude towards ladies, women actually. My father was a very fine man. He has many ladies around. So you know what I mean? And that also in a way rubbed off on me in a way. But I told myself, I saw the way he was going, and I said to myself, this is where I want to end up, And I had to confront myself, first of all, by telling myself some truths. That if I go up this way, I will end up having a family where my children will not have any covering. And so at the point I was on the streets, literally didn't have a house to stay. And so when I got into university, I told myself I must turn my life around. And I knew I couldn't turn my life around by myself. I needed the help of people. So I went to some men that I respected, and I told them, sir, you're an amazing man. I saw a man that with his family, he would come back from home, and the children would come and greet him. I was like, that happens. You come to their house, you see the children watching TV. In my house, if you sit down, your father comes back, once you hear the horn, you are running away. You understand? So I knew I had a problem, first of all. And I knew I needed to just be beyond watching great men speak on YouTube and the rest. I wanted a physical environment where I could see things happening, to deal with my mind. So I would meet some men and tell them, not be around you, and just see what happens around you. But the men were too busy, they were like, oh my bros, I'm trying to fend for my family as well. And I can't blame them because they need to fend for their families as well, so they don't have that time. Then I told myself, if I'm having this same experience, it must mean some of the other men have the same experience. And one thing I believe a long time ago was this: you don't have to wait for the door to open. Open it yourself. So back in school, I called a group of guys and I told them, guys, this is an issue I think we should address amongst men. And all of them were like, we have the same problem. So in our very first event, we had about 400 guys show up. And we meant to be a 3 hours event, ended up being about 6 hours. But the impact of that was the fact that several years later, when I went to my church, I would see some guys that I knew from school. In fact, I didn't know them per se. They were like, Paul Cass, that event you had changed my life. And that's why avenues like this are so important. That a lot of time we overestimate how far we can go without seeing the importance of having community, having someone you can be accountable to. For instance, my mentor is in this house. Pastor Benga is over there. Right? I will talk about you, sir. That's, I'm very accountable to him. He knows a lot about me, everything, a lot about me. I open myself, and all that. I needed that. I needed because even though I read so many books and whatever, it's not the same thing as having someone that tells you, bros, you are messing up, turn your life around. So it's so important. My other friend, I won't mention his name, he had a problem with women. So he told me, Paul Cass, please, come and stay in my house. At least if you have someone with him, right, chances of him messing up will reduce than him being alone. If he's alone, he can do whatever he wants. But if I'm around your house, he really can't do much, right? It was like, Paul Cass, if any time you see a lady come to my house, if you have to slap brain into my life, like slap me back into, you understand? So one night came out, I was like, bro, are you sure? He said, yes. He said, to slap, ba? I would love that. So one night, he came in. And this guy he's about 10 years older than I am. He came in, the guy was just, Tim, entered the room. I was shocked. I now stood up. I'm very calm now. Then my head was crazy. I stood up, went to the door, knocked, I banged the door. Come out of here. I said, come outside. The guy was like, I kept banging the door. When he came outside, I said, just follow me. He was on towel already. I took him outside. Let's just go and stand. Just stay here. Everybody go in there and call the girl out. And she's going to go home tonight. Right? So he stood there. I went in there, called the lady. She was already on. She was just wearing a polo shirt. That's all she was wearing. And I said, I'm sorry, but you can't stay here tonight. She was staying in Cuba. And we were so far away. I said, you have to go home tonight. She said, I can't go home. It's too late. I said, okay, we'll lodge you in a hotel. But one thing is certain, you can't stay in this house tonight. And that night, we got into a hotel. We got her to a hotel. She stayed there. The next day, she got home. Now, the point is that Stanley, my friend, he has 2 children now. His family, they're not in Canada, right? That singular moment, something that would probably have damaged his life for a long time. So that's why it's so crucial. Don't do life alone, guys. Don't do life. See, forget about all these. That's what you can't do. I'm a man. Now end up going to the grave. Don't do life. If you find an issue you're struggling with, don't wait till tomorrow. Deal with it. Whatever you have to do, expose. Whether somebody tells you that what you're doing is important for us to be part of a group, part of the community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paul Cass. I think that deserves a round of applause. Okay, you want to say something on that? Okay.
So, thank you very much for sharing that, right? I think that was really, really a handful of experiences. Thank you, sir. So, when it comes to safe space and vulnerability, right, I think it's really, really easy to say that the government is not accepting, or culture is not accepting, or culture is saying that men should not speak up. That sometimes we forget who that culture is and who that society is. That is every one of us, right? And what he was talking about was accountability, right? I think it's important that if you want to see men be vulnerable, accept vulnerability yourself. Let me ask a question. Let us all be sincere. When was the last time your guy really came to you and you listened to him without saying, nah man, you big guy, you go do all right? It's very, very hard for us to say that, or for us to accept something, because we'd rather judge. Society doesn't allow men to open up. That's why men are like this. Are you a safe space? If your friend comes to you, right, and is struggling, what do you do at that moment? Do you brush them up? Do you invalidate their feelings? That is how you open safe spaces. That is how you break the cycle of stigmatization, right? I think it's important that all of us here in this room, that we are introspective about ourselves, right? How are we towards people that come and show us some vulnerability? Are we that safe spaces? Because it has to start from us before it spreads. if you are a safe space, right, and somebody comes to you and they tell you how they are feeling, that person already goes out, and knowing that somebody did this for me, so I have to do this for another person. And that is how the kindness spreads. It starts from you. Understand that. Understand that if I want to see a safe space for men to be vulnerable, to talk about, to express without judgment, it has to start from me. I have to be that safe space. Thank you very much. And I think, right, in your experience, right, you're saying that that person was a safe space for you to express yourself, right? It was the same thing for both of you, and I really appreciate. Not all men have that. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you so much, Ante, for that. So I think one question we should ask ourselves is, are you a safe space? So I think you can take that home. The next question is what I call the pressure cooker. How do economic struggles, social expectations, and cultural norms worsen men's mental health challenges? Dr. Ndubisi, on this one. How this gets to impact on men, so.
All right, fantastic question. I'll give you this scenario. There's a disease called monaria, and there's malaria. Looking at economic aspect. So monaria is the absence or the bankruptcy of liquidity. Malaria is caused by falciparum, bacterial, falciparum. And the difference between these two guys is that it's a cycle. Malaria is a 3-day cycle if you do the needful, But monaria is something that is in the mind. You go remove the mind, it's there. So how do you, manage your financial life and your emotion? Your thoughts, belief, emotion, habit, value, character, behavior. So that's how the cycle goes. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I might be in a local setting, but I have a global mindset. It changes my perspective about my environment. So it is relative. I'm trying to picture, okay, how will the economic factor affect my emotions? For me, it's different because I've wired my thinking in a different way. I don't see the absence of my liquidity as a problem to me. Why? I value myself because you have to do self-validation. If you validate yourself, you value yourself. And nobody, like Eleanor Roosevelt would say, nobody rises to low expectation. So the value you place on yourself is the value you have. People don't pay salary because they pity you. They pay you for your worth. This is what you want. No matter how they pity you, you have plenty problems. It doesn't change their mind to pay you more. So the validity here is I personally validate myself as who I am and who am I. I see myself at the top. You have to be at the top to be the topic. That's how I see myself. So I don't see myself based on my current readings of my bank account. So why I'm bringing this perspective is, the question economy. So for me now, I might be who I am here, seated here, but I see myself as a dollar billionaire, and that's who I am. It's my perception, and it's creating my reality, because my perceptions shouldn't affect him. So it's relative here because I'm giving the solution. I'm not, dwelling on the problem. I'm not seeing my emotions to my current situation to affect my emotions. I don't want to go through that. So I want to see myself like I should be able to decide who I am, not based on what I have, because until my inner value aligns with my external achievement, I can't have satisfaction. Happiness is more about enjoying what you have than having what you want.
Thank you, Dr. Ndubisi. I like your response, and that's a good perspective to it. But I don't think we can ignore the fact that Nigeria's economy is currently dealing with a lot of people. In fact, we understand around 40% of the population live below $2 a day. So, and this actually has a direct impact on mental health. And then, of course, there are expectations for men. You're expected to provide, you're expected to lead, you're expected to, do so much. And then, why we say mental health kind of affects men disproportionately is that you don't know, some of these pressures and where they are coming from, but there's just that expectation on you. You may have been able to deal with yourself to an extent or to a degree that, you know, you don't see yourself as the value or the amount of money in your pocket. But some people see themselves as that. So how do we navigate, you know, how does this have this impact, and how can people navigate from there?
Now, this will take us back to people are going through things, but the reality here is that life will happen to you at different points in life. But the question is, should you go wrong because things are going wrong? Should you go with the challenges? The absolute answer is no. So, but how do you now begin, you know, to solve that problem? You need to change the way you are thinking about the problem. When you change the way you see things, the things you see will change. It's not about just me going through this route. This is the fundamental way to do it, to get the result you want to get. If you dwell more on the problem, you won't see the solution. And that's what a lot of us do. Now, if I open up a conversation with pastor and say, oh, things are hard, Nigeria, we'll spend 2 hours talking about Nigerian problem. Miles Monroe, blessed memory, said, every problem is a business. What was he thinking? He's not thinking about the problem. He's thinking about what he can do with the problem from a more positive angle. And until we change our perception towards that positivity, nothing will change. Albert Einstein once said something. He said, this thinking that I'm thinking has created a problem that this thinking can't solve. So in order to solve the new problem, this thinking has to change. So I have stopped seeing, you know, one thing we have to all understand is the doors of opportunity swings on the hinges of adversity and challenges. The adversities have come to make us stronger, happening for you, not to you. Come on. So once you begin to energize yourself, sometimes you go to work not because you want to, because you have to. At the end of the month, you have to be paid, so you have to go. So this is it. So these things will happen. Now, people that you tell about your problem complaining, 90% of them don't care. The remaining 10% are even glad that you are in the problem. So what's the way forward? You have to see those problems not as problems, but you begin to see the reality. This is hammer time period, but it's hammer time for me.
Come on, a round of applause, sir. Okay.
Let me give an example to what Doctor just said. It's very, very so insightful. Back in school, I had a guy, I was heading back to my whole dance, you know, in the school, and he's paid 15K. And that 15K, he sends a huge sum to his family. He has almost nothing left. Then, in his level now, huge sum now. Can be 10K, menial things. Lecturers in this school don't wash their cars. Their cars are always dirty. What if you offered to wash their cars for them daily? He took my advice, started washing cars. Washed about 10 cars, almost about 10 cars every single day, making 5K every single day. Now, in a month, he made about 100 and something thousand. While this guy was being paid twice what the guy was being paid with extra change. And then he now said, he started thinking about becoming a cleaner, having his, he now had help. Now, that guy, like what he just said, if you just focus only on the problems, you will not see the opportunities. That's what I just want to just...
Thank you so much for that. So I'm circling back to Pastor Maiwa. So we want to talk about healthy attachments and fatherhood. How do strong father-son relationships shape emotional security, and how can men build healthier connections in their relations?
Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone, once again. I feel like this was answered in the parenting. So I said, you are not yet married and you're not yet a father. Make a decision right now. If you had a good father in this particular context, desire you had, I don't think, even though men have expressions and difficulty with expression, we actually do not. We know how to express, because I think the issue is just, it's a, what's that word? It's a mental stronghold. Because, for example, that's an experiment. It's like, that's shocking. Do you get? So it's all about, we know how to express, we know how to create that bond. So with your kids, just be present with them. Do things with them. I told people in the group, like, him to tell me back. Now he's of age that is cleaning the peck already. I don't know where he got that from. Do you get? So he doesn't want to talk with me or discuss with me or he wants to watch his TV, but he wants to feel my presence. Do you get? So even if you think you don't know how to build a relationship, you can actually, if you are just interested, you are just there. Do you get? If you are just there, you are doing your own thing. Your kids will not demand much from you, to be honest. They won't demand much from you, especially if you start from the beginning. And that's another secret. Many of you can bear witness. Your parents wanted to start doing some things with you when you were 15, 16. When you were 20, like, it's too late. I remember my parents wanted me to start speaking Yoruba because I'm like, you didn't speak it to me when I was a child. Now I'm in university, you are complaining that I cannot speak. It's too late to try and change me right now. Maybe try it with my kids or somebody else. Now it has to be my own personal interest. So another secret will be start early. Once they are born, just start it. I believe in this generation we are more exposed, so you have an idea of what it is to create that bond. Even if the child is a male, love the male like a female, and you get what I mean. Don't shower love to female and say you're a man. So as a man, I want you to start knowing what it means to be a leader. What you will now do is you will take away his childhood, and when he eventually becomes a leader, he will be easily seduced to childlikeness. I don't know how to explain it. So it will now be like, Solomon, you are the wisest person in the world, but you're a child in. Yeah, may God give you understanding. Okay. So yeah, just be intentional, and I believe if you're intentional and if you are present, you'll be able to create that bond.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. So we still have some questions, but unfortunately we're out of time. So I'll just go straight to the audience questions, and I have just one here. I have just one question here. I'll ask that one and ask one final question from our pool of questions. And that one was directed to Chente. So it says, is therapy truly important, and why do I need to go for therapy? And then I'd like to ask you one final question, so you just wrap everything up together. How can men process and heal from emotional pain caused by... No, I don't want to ask you that. Nah. I just saw this question right now. Okay, just one moment. Yes. So how can men identify, confront, and heal from unresolved trauma? So then linking that with whether therapy is important or not, and then we'll call it.
You have sense. You are very smart. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, I think a lot of us have a lot of misconceptions about therapy, right? Real talk. If I ask men here, has anyone even gone for therapy? People be like, is therapy not talking to somebody? Why would I even want to go and talk to somebody about my problems? But therapy is more than that. Firstly, therapy is not giving advice. I'm sure that if you need advice, you have your father, you have your mother, you have your pastor, you have your friend. There are a lot of people that you want to go and take advice from. Therapy is not about advice, right? Therapy is a journey of self-discovery. Let me say this, right? A lot of us, things have happened to us that we don't even know where it's coming from. Some of us now think that we are in a sense of competition. Why? Because during childhood, right, we've been learned to believe, like, it's always been a give and take relationship. I have to do something. Like now, when you were little, it's only when you carry first that they will give you something. If you carry last, you are the worst. In fact, they use silent treatment to kill you in the house. Do you get? And so you grew up and thinking that this life is about give and take. I have to give something to even receive something. Right? Or you even grow up, having a sense of competition with everybody. I have to always carry first. I have to always do this. I have to always prove myself, right? Now, what therapy will help? Because sometimes we're not even aware of that. It's people that will bring, guy, what is doing you? Like, nobody's in a competition with you, right? You come into a space where everybody is just doing their work and you want to
bros, I beg, I don't finish my work, please, do you understand? Like, breathe, like, calm down. Nobody is, do you get, we're not fighting, right? What therapy will do is that it will identify most of those things. It will show you patterns, right? It takes you from where you, how do I put this right? It recognizes your trauma. In therapy, you learn, this is why I'm wired this way. Maybe the fact that I really, really cannot give anybody love is because as a child, maybe I was abandoned. And I feel like if I actually love somebody, that person is going to leave me. So I don't want to give so that I will not feel that pain that I felt as a child. This is what therapy will do for you, right? It brings you to the point where you are aware of what has happened to you, and it's a process for you to take that step to get to where you want to be, right? Therapy is, I'm not God knows I don't know anything. Do you understand? Like, no, I know plenty. Emotions, is emotions also a joke to you? No. But what I'm saying is that I'm not there to give you advice, right? It's a journey of self-discovery, right? You get to understand who you are. You get to say, this is why I'm wired the way I'm wired, right? In therapy, you learn things, you learn ways. Another definition of therapy is that most times when we are overwhelmed, right, we think that it's only a particular way that we can get to a particular situation. Let's say, I want to make money, right? And so your mind thinks, because everybody's going to tech, your mind thinks that it's only when I'm doing tech that I'm going to make money, right? Now, what therapy helps you understand is that it's not just 5 plus 5 that can give you 10. There are 1,000 ways you can get to 10. There's 8 plus 2, 6 plus 4, 9 plus 1, 7 plus 3, 20 minus 10. It opens your mind. Do you get, like, it opens your mind to possibilities. You begin to see that it doesn't just have to be my way. I don't always have to think that, oh, it's only when I do this I'll get this result. No, it takes you, okay, the reason why you're thinking like this is because maybe something happened to you in childhood, maybe this happened, maybe you are overwhelmed. That is why you see things like this. In therapy, you discover ways, right? You understand yourself better. You are self-aware. You know who you are. You know how best to relate to people. You even know how to even treat people better. Therapy is important. Every single person, just to discover yourself, go for therapy.
Thank you so much,
And
Chente.
I'm not saying this so that you book me as but book me, yeah.
Please
book
book
me.
Chente.
Book me, yeah.
Book Chente.
Okay.
The reason why I just want to say it is just to agree with what you say. I've been to therapy, and the reason I wanted to say it, I know some of you take that valuable because you know me as a pastor, but I've been to therapy. And my conclusion, if you ask all my friends after therapy, my conclusion, and it's still the same, every single person in the world needs to go to therapy. There's nobody you know that does not need to go to therapy. I can't explain it more than that, but every single person in the world. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So finally, together we're shifting the narrative on masculinity and mental health by encouraging open conversations for men, self-care, exactly what we're doing here, and professional therapy. I didn't even know we'd get to this point. Man Enough to Heal hopes to redefine strength, not as the ability to endure silently, but as the courage to seek help and support others in their healing journeys. I want to thank you very much, our distinguished panelists, Chente, Podcast, Dr. Ndubisi, and Pastor Maiwa. I think they deserve another round of applause as we close. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wow. Are you motivated? Men. All right. Men, how are you? Better now, right? Better. Great. We are, this is a journey, right? You may not be 100% fine, but the goal is that we are creating the awareness, right? So I'm sure that from here, you go back, you sit down with yourself, you ask yourself questions, you probably book emotions doctor for therapy and allow him take you on a journey to self-discovery. You speak to a loved one, you go back to your father and say, I forgive you. You know, you take steps towards healing. And that's what today's Men Enough to Heal is about. Now, I have two important announcements to make. Two of our panelists have their books here. So, for Dr. Ndubisi, if you go to the secretariat, that's the stand outside, you can ask, you'll see the copies of his books. He has given us a very generous discount, I must say. So please walk up to, I believe each copy goes for 8,000, but he has said, you know, for everyone here, 5,000 naira for a copy, and you can pick up, you know, your copy of the book. So please head out when you are leaving, not now. When you are leaving, you can always pick up your copy. Also, podcast, How to Be a Man, is also offering to give five copies of his book for free, right? 5 copies of his book for free. So if you are interested, you know you are going to read it, because we have libraries, but we don't read. So if you know you are going to read the book, please, I'm not saying if you like the book or like the title, if you know that you make a personal commitment to read it and pass it down possibly to another man to learn, let's keep this chain going, amen? Please walk up to Paul Cast and he will be glad to share a free copy with you. Thank you so much, Paul Cast and Dr. Ndubisi, for your generosity. We appreciate it. Please give them a round of applause. They've gone above and beyond. And thanks to all our panelists and the moderator, we have learned so much, but this is not the end. Somebody say, this is not the end. Even though we are getting closer to the end of this program, but it's important that beyond self-awareness, we are also able to call ourselves to spiritual awakening. And I'm not going to speak so much about that because the person that is coming to speak to us, he's a spiritual man as they come, right? So without further ado, I'd like to invite my pastor, our pastor, Pastor Mayowa Sani, to give us a few words.
Hallelujah. Good evening, everyone. So I have about 10 minutes here, and Jason, please, I need you seated in front for this. I'm not going to do what you told me to do. I'm going to do what God has told me to do now. Mark Manuel, it's your birthday today, right? Let's say happy birthday to him. Come on, louder. Say happy birthday. Okay, please, can you help me on the keyboard? You played, right? So you play keyboard. So we're going to switch to a prophetic atmosphere right now for the next 10 minutes, and by the time we're done, you will understand. Do you speak in tongues, right? Okay, begin to speak in tongues right now. Kimahate, Freningo Shagla Bahandia. Something new, I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, and I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, and I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, and I'll be here time and my generation. I flow in the wind of God. In my time and my generation, I follow the paths of God. In my time and my generation, I'll do all the Lord is doing. In my time and my generation, I'll do all He says to do. God is doing something new. I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, and I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, and I'll be here to see it. The Lord just wants me to drop a message. Keep speaking in tongues. Jason, this is bigger than you thought. This is bigger than you imagined. And God gave me that song now just to confirm the prophetic message. In 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9, it says, I'm to warn the gifts of healing. The gifts of healing. The gifts of healing. Just stand up, hold my hands. Everyone look at us if you can. The gift of healing. The Lord by privilege has allowed me to know that there's going to be a numerous expansion of the men's ministry. There will be a lot of ministry and speak to the young men. So there is a space in the apostolic budget of the church where there is ministerial resources to address men. And that budget has not been spent. Scarcely, it hasn't been spent. So God is doing something where He's going to raise men to help men. And one gift this young man has now, I don't know if he's aware, is the gift of healing for men. You know, and I was just searching in my spirit. Do you know the meaning of your name? Jason. Someone Google the meaning of Jason. You know his name is Jason, right? Open your phone, Google it. Once you get the answers, let me know. Healer. Can you see that? Healer. Because the Lord led me, it says Google the name Jason. And I did during, and I was like, oh, it was a confirmation. So this is not just a gathering or an idea or a project. It's the METH project because by physical definition is a project, but it is a ministry. It is a ministry, meaning there are spiritual resources allocated to you to execute this ministry. You will do movies that will help men. That short film was a prophetic example. And because of the urgency of this work, I don't know how regular, and take my prophecy serious, please. I don't know how regular you want to do meetings, whatever you want to do. But in a year's time, when you have your next meeting, I'm not saying that will be your next meeting, but when you have a meeting after the next 12 months, there will be at least 1,000 guys in attendance. And it's not because of you, it's because of the work. It's because of what the Lord is doing. And people are plugging to it. So, and as a sign that everything I'm saying is true, there are some of you have this burden you cannot explain. One of you, I'm seeing you in the spirit. Just last 7 to 14 days, there's this heaviness on your heart, and it's not financial because you make a decent living. You can't pinpoint what exactly the issue is, but you're dissatisfied, and that dissatisfaction leads you to find a solution that is not godly. And the Lord says that as I sing this song again, within the next 30 seconds or so, He's going to place something on your head, meaning you will feel it on your head, but the work will be done in your heart and the burden will be removed. Let's pray in the Holy Ghost again. God is doing something new, and I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, and I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, I'll be here to see it. God is doing something new, I'll be here to see it. God is doing something. Let that burden be removed supernaturally as a prophetic sign of the beginning of what the Lord is doing here right now. Don't go back at every Lord, honor your word. Let that burden be removed. At the count of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are free. You are free. You are free. You are free. And Jason, the Lord says there is wisdom. Seek out wisdom. Double the work. Double the work. There's a lot for you to pluck, use, and work, labor to pluck as many as possible. Because there is a great door. Thank you, Daddy. I pray that everyone who has heard these words will be steady in their soul and will align themselves to what you are doing in their life and destiny, individually and as a body. And those who need alignment, I sponsor the realignment right now. And let this meeting not just be therapy to the soul, but therapy to their spirit. And let indeed today be a day of new beginning for them. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Rise to your feet. Congratulations. Thank you very much. My time is up.
It's an old, simple worship song.
There's not a friend like the lonely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. Again, there's not a friend like the lonely. Mean what you're singing. No, not one. No, not one. I love this part. It says, Jesus knows all about our struggles, and He will There is healing in your name. Oh,
just want to thank each and every one of you for deciding to be man enough to heal. When God gave me this vision, I thought to myself, okay, I need to plan, I need to organize, I need to raise funds and all of this. When I thought to myself, all of these things are right, so just fade away if I delay. When I was praying, I said, I want the visions of God. And I said, okay, I've seen God enough that when He wants to do crazy things, I can be able to join Him into crazy things. I've seen Him do it in the past. And the first thing I did was I fixed the date. And then I went into prayer again, and God told me, talk to this person for this, talk to this person for this, talk to this person for that. And I only explained to the prophet twice when he got inside the picture that was in my head. And if I want to thank everybody one after the other, I will leave it today. But I'm so grateful for the kind of people that God has planted around me. I'm so grateful for the men in my life. Shete, I met him today for the first time. He was in Lagos and he saw this podcast status and he reached out to me. That was how he came to me. And he didn't just come alone. He brought his other friends who are also professionals in Abuja. PM, I'm so grateful. I just went to his house and I told him, and he said, how can I help? And he has been there. He has been there. I want to thank Pastor Paul as well. The moment I mentioned this to Pastor Paul, my resident pastor, he said, okay, whatever you need, just let me know. Anything that we can do for you, just mention it. And that's exactly what he has done. I want to thank all my friends, Desire, Vicky, Success, Prince Will, Chibuke, Cast and Rare, each and every one of you. Like if I go and mention the names of people, me at the gate, I need to come out. But this is something that is not going to end soon. I want to thank Ojobo. He's my brother. He's in the US, but since I shared this with him, he has been supporting me in various ways. I want to thank Uncle Leaks. I want to thank JP. He's the one that helped us print out this wonderful backdrop. I want to thank Mr. Tim Yella. I always want to call him Victor Yella. There's something victorious about. I want to thank Fair Brother. I want to thank Stevie and his beautiful wife. I want to thank Pastor Mayowa's wife and his kids for allowing him to stay here with us still. Mr. Tim and his family, each and every one of you have been a huge blessing to my life. And my blood brother, Ibendu, our wonderful administration, Femi of Africa, I'm so grateful. Let me tell you one last thing. I was going for the shoots that we had. I had in my spirit. METH 2.0 is in September. So, I mean, we're going to do it bigger, we're going to do it better, we're going to do it stronger. Thank you so much, Bob the Builder. Bob is doing something amazing to with men, and as much as we can, we are going to work together to execute the project of God for the men generation, to usher in the next generation of men that will build stronger families and societies. Thank you so much, everyone. I am very grateful. Thank you for coming out. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming and for staying till this time. Thank you, Coach Andy. I was looking for your face. When I spoke to him, he told me about his busy schedule. So I numbers and pass information. Now, PM told me something now, and I think it's right that we do. Today is Mark Manuel's birthday, and I would like for us, it's if you feel like it, you can give him a birthday gift. If you feel like it, if you can, I would call out his account number, and if you feel the leading and you can, please. It's a GT Bank account, and the account number is. Am I too fast? Okay. Oh, happy birthday, Bachman. Okay, 025 880 5234 02 58 80 5234 GT Bank. If you see my name there, still send it, but it's supposed to be Mark Manuel's account. Thank you all so much, and we've come to the end of this event. I wish we had 6 hours, but I mean, there's METH 2.0 coming in September. Let's prepare. Thank you all so much, and have a beautiful and safe journey to your home. Please pick up Dr. Andy's book while you're leaving. It's just 5,000 by the door. I think he will be there to attend to you. And Paul's book, I think some people might have snatched it, but you can ask for it at the stand there. Thank you, guys.